Everybody, it is Daniel here from Mobile Syrup, and today I have for you the Rogers Xperia Arc and Play. This is from Sony Ericsson, and I wanted to give you a quick hardware overview of both of these models, so let's take a look. So first you're going to see that the Xperia Arc is very black on the front. It's got a great looking LCD 4.2 inch 854 by 480 screen. It's a normal LCD screen, but its black levels are excellent and color reproduction is great, and it has the Sony Bravia engine inside, which includes some software filters to enhance your multimedia playback. At its thinnest point, it is 8.4 millimeters, and what that means is that it's very easy to hold in the hand. It's very comfortable and feels excellent. Just being held like this. It's only 117 grams, which is significantly lighter than most smartphones on the market. It's got a 1 gigahertz second generation Snapdragon processor, the 8255. It's got 512 megs of RAM. It's got about 300 and some odd megabytes of internal storage available, and an 8 megapixel camera with LED flash. So let's just run through a little bit of the hardware. You can see that on the left side of the device is the 3.5 millimeter jack. It's interesting position. I'm not sure I like it very much over there, but it's probably the only place that Sony could put it. On the right side of the device we have the micro USB port. We have the volume up and down buttons. These are not very difficult to press, but they're a little bit small for my liking. On the bottom right of the device we have the two-step camera button. Not the best place for it. It could have been better over here, but they wanted to make sure that it was at the widest point of the phone, so right at the edge. It definitely does the job. It's a two-step, so hold down halfway for shutter focus and full way down to take the shot. I'll show you all that software in another video. Front of the device you have three hardware buttons. You have the menu, you have home, and you have back. Home does in fact turn on the screen, which is nice, because on the top of the device we have a very small power button. Not at all convenient to press. You need a fingernail to press it down. The HDMI port as well has just a little cover that you remove. So that's the micro HDMI port over there. Very convenient if you want to hook it up to your TV. Back of the device you have the 8 megapixel camera with flash. You also have a second microphone for noise cancellation. On the bottom of the device, as I said, is the speaker and the Sony Ericsson insignia there. Bottom of the device you have first microphone and a lanyard hole and the opening for the battery cover. If I take off the battery cover, see that there's a 1500 milliamp battery in there and an 8 gigabyte micro SD card installed. The 8 megapixel camera is not nearly as big as the Desire HD, which is a nice change. Lets the device continue to be very slim. So that's a quick hardware overview of the Xperia Arc. Next we have the Xperia Play. Play is a 4-inch screen, 854 by 480 resolution. It's got a front-facing VGA camera, which the Arc does not have, but on the back is a 5 megapixel camera as opposed to the 8 megapixel camera. Right hand side of the device we have a lot of the PlayStation controls. You have the I call these the flaps. They don't press down the way that normal buttons do, but they exist in the same way that the L and R buttons do on the PSP. You can see the sliding mechanism here is really nice and smooth. And the front of the device that has the PlayStation controls. These buttons are very nice. They're clicky, but they're not too difficult to press down. The directional controls feel good, nice feedback, and these are the analog sticks that work in the game. They don't have any use outside of the game. There's also the start and select buttons, and there's a menu button here which will access the context menu outside of the app. Overall, I think that the design of this is really nice. It's a bit thick. You can see they had to keep it quite thick just to enable all of the phone and Sony PlayStation features. Top of the device, there's a power button. It's a nicer button than on the Arc. It's more easily pressed. The right side also has the volume rocker here. A little bit awkward to get to, but overall it does the job, and it certainly is where it needs to be. Left side of the device, you have the 3.5mm jack, again on the left hand side, so it's a little bit awkward unless you have a right angled headphone jack. And on the bottom here is the micro USB. Thickness is obviously quite significant, but that's because the Arc is going for a totally different demographic. The attractive design on the Play is probably my preference. It's a little bit thick, but for me, this is an overall gaming device replacement. You will not need your PSP after this, I assure you, and I will show you in a future video when I go over the software. Games like Crash Bandicoot, Asphalt 6, included games like Bruce Lee and Star Battalion all look great and play fantastically. Battery life is a little bit better on the Xperia Play just because of the smaller screen, but they're really great devices for what they were made for. I'm just going to show you quickly thickness difference between the Xperia Play and the Desire HD. You can see that the Play is still a little bit thicker here, just to give you some perspective. But again, the thickness of the device will not impede in your use of it outside of games. Its contoured, curved back allows you to hold it very nicely in the hand. I actually prefer holding the Play in the hand than I do the Arc, just because of its heft. It's a little bit thicker and not as tall as the Arc. The Arc kind of slips in your pocket and you forget about it, so if you're looking for a really light phone that is aesthetically pleasing, the Arc is the way to go. As I said, this contoured back helps you hold it, but personally I like the Play better. So that's just a quick hardware overview of the Xperia Arc and the Xperia Play. These are both $99.99 on a 3-year term at Rogers and $549 on a no-term contract. So that's it for the hardware overview, and I will give you a software overview in a separate video. Thanks a lot, guys.